20 seconds. The mean dog. So I'm going to start the show in, let's see, 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to JTG Live. I am JTG. And this is Delight. She's a dog, in case you didn't catch on to that. And this is my show. I'm going to do these kinds of live broadcasts. Well, I'm going to think about doing it at least once a week. I did one a few days ago, and I'm going to do more of them. I'm still deciding whether Periscope is the best place to do these. Maybe I'll do different ones and different platforms and see which ones get the viewership and the response and which ones don't. So this show is going to be a little more structured than my last one. I'm going to be live until 7:30. I'm just going to be here talking. I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel later. So if you have to go away or watch this later, it'll be on my YouTube channel, which is Random Reverberations from JTG. And if you search on the code RRfJTG, if you see RRfJTG, that's probably me, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter, or well, actually in Twitter I'm JTG, JTG. That's short for Random Reverberations for JTG, from JTG, and JTG is my name, James Thomas Green. The advantage of using RRfJTG is that, as far as I know, there's nobody else using that. So I'll get to questions in a little bit. I just want to talk a little bit. The show, I'm going to talk a little bit about some current events, what's happening in France, terrorism, and towards later on I'll talk a little bit about my personal life, and then I'll answer questions. So I want to start out by talking about what happened in France. As most of you probably know, I would assume that this is what I've heard as of now. I may be wrong. There may be more information than I've heard. But a man from Tunisia in Nice, France, took a truck, a very large truck, looked like, and with a tractor trailer, and drove it for, I've heard various things, from several hundred yards to a couple of kilometers, or about a mile or so, through a very dense crowd, and has killed a bunch of people and a bunch more injured. Many more may die. And I've heard mixed reports about whether the truck was filled with explosives or not. And if it was filled with explosives, why didn't it detonate? Was that a problem, or did he die before he reached the point where he was going to set it off? So obviously this is a big, horrible tragedy for France and for the world. But we can't overreact. I mean, there have been some crazy things going on in the world over the last decade. We're hearing Donald Trump and Newt Gingrich and some other people claiming that we need to go right in and we are at war. Well, what have we been doing the last 15 years but being at war all over the world? We obviously need to figure out, did this guy do it himself? Was he part of a group? And we don't want to go into war right now, I think, because who are you going to bomb? Are you going to bomb everyone in Tunisia? And a large number of Muslims were killed during that time. Yeah. We're not dropping enough bombs and I'm boring. Okay. That's what the comments are saying. Of course, if you find me boring, go away. I don't want you here. You can come back later or just look at the dog. Um, you know, we don't want to make things worse. Absolutely not. Um, and going and just start bombing everybody that you see, everybody in Tunisia, a lot of victims of groups like ISIS and Al Qaeda are Muslims themselves. Now, if you want to talk about Islam, I mean, the religion of Islam, I mean, if you want to talk about the various mythologies of Islam, that's fine, but a lot of people, just like in America, are part of a Christian or Jewish because that's the culture they were born into, and the same thing in Muslims. And so we can't go into a war against Islam or against everybody who's Muslim. And that's my thoughts on that. So I see lost a few people, gained a few people. It's all washing out right here. So if you guys want to ask any questions, go ahead, and I'll answer them now. I'll talk a little bit about myself here. It's let's see. France allowed those barbarians in their country. Don't you think the U.S. started it all for oil? Yeah, oil has a lot to do with it. And those barbarians, it's only a few of the group. It's not the entire everybody. Obviously, this person, and apparently he, the person who drove the truck, has a reputation. What I was reading, somebody who knew him said that he was scary. No, the dog is not dead. Are you the same person who was asking me this last time? Nope. Dead dogs don't look like this. So she may be stuffed because she just ate, but that's a different kind of thing. So I can talk about another. Let's see, we got another question here. Okay, I might be. I have viewed you before. Okay. What did we do to the Japanese people when we were at war with Japan? Okay, that's an interesting question. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we put a lot of them in prison camps. I mean, people such as George Takei from Star Trek. He was a little kid at the time, and he ended up in jail. No, it didn't. Did it really? I mean, how many Japanese people were actually enemy agents? So, I mean, I've never heard anything about that. Did it work? Did it not? I don't know. A lot of Japanese ended up, it became an excuse to take property because, it, and that's okay for me. Well, what if somebody, I mean, we didn't really lock up Germans during World War II. Don't you think there's a connection between oil and terrorism? Oh, yeah, absolutely. If we don't get off oil, then, and we need to get off oil for other reasons than just terrorism. Because if we were to burn all the fossil fuel that's available, then the amount of CO2 that would put into the atmosphere would make us probably on our way to being more like Venus than Earth. And Venus has got a surface temperature of about 900 degrees because of all the CO2 in its atmosphere. So, there are a lot of advantages. I mean, we have the technology. With what we know right now, we could change a lot of we could change our world. We wouldn't have to deal with terrorism. Let's see, what is this? No, because it's not really. Somebody just pointed out that Venus is closer to the sun. It's not much closer. It's about 20 to 30 million miles closer, Venus. And if Venus were otherwise like Earth, it would probably be, a little bit warmer, but not as much as it is now. Venus is 900 degrees. If Earth were to turn into a CO2 world like Venus, Earth would not be 900 degrees. It'd probably be more like 600, which still is a little warmer than a summer's day in most places. No, did the U.S. start that all? Sorry, the question disappeared. Did we start it all with bin Laden? I'm not sure what that question meant. But bin Laden, the family of bin Laden, they were rich people in Saudi Arabia, and there were a lot of bin Ladens in America. So the questions are coming too fast for me to really catch up. Did you hear someone hung themselves on Periscope? Well, I'm not going to do that, so I don't care what kind of ratings I would get. So I'm not really clear on what the question about bin Laden was about. Bin Laden was one of, I believe his father had 50 children, and he was somewhere, towards the end. So he wasn't really that important in the bin Laden family. So I wouldn't say that bin Laden had anything to do with, the U.S. going in and taking the oil from the Middle East. In fact, Saudi Arabia, the local people there are in charge of the oil right now. Saudi Arabia, at least for the moment. I mean, Saudi Arabia has some of the best oil fields in the world. Not only do they have a lot of it, it's what they call light sweet, and it's not because it's got high fructose corn syrup in it. It's because it's thin and doesn't have a lot of sulfur or other things. You can almost pump it out and with very little refining use it in all kinds of things. That's why Saudi Arabia is so important in the oil fields in the world. I mean, oil is in other places, but very little is as good as what's in Saudi Arabia. So the dog, the question is, what is the dog called? That's a story I wanted to talk about tonight. Her name is Delight, and she's about 4 or 5 months old, and I named her Delight after one of my ancestors. One of my 7th great-grandmothers. I do genealogy, and one of my 7th great-grandmothers is named Delight Otis. Otis, like the elevator company. And she married, I don't remember his first name, but she married into the Loomis family. So I have Otis and Loomis on my ancestry. And I just thought it was an interesting name. U.S., she says, Iraq had oil and U.S. had fake WMD reason to attack and get oil. Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm wild. Woohoo. Yes, I'm out of control. We have enough oil and we don't need the Saudi, but the problem is no refineries. I don't think it's the refinery is the problem. The person who just called me a fat fuck, hey, you can go away. I mean, you don't have to watch. Hello. Somebody just said hi. So, get a lot of people here, 30 people. Hello, hi. Suddenly I got a surge of people on here. Like I said, I'm going to be live until 7:30, and I have a chawa. What's that mean? I don't know what that means. Who knows? Is that a slang for something? No, this is not a cat. I don't know where my cat is right now, but this is my dog. Doggy. Nope, no cat. I don't know what she is. She's not a Chihuahua. I don't know if she's got Chihuahua in her, but she's some kind of a terrier. Sure, you can just kind of air pet my cat. The person just asked if I can pet the cat. Hey Ma, what's that mean? I don't know. Nothing. Let's see. It's interesting, Periscope. This is my third broadcast, and the first one didn't come in, or the first one I didn't. It was only about 10 minutes, and I didn't have really any comments. And the second one, though, was another. I decided to do a set time and let people know, half-hour broadcast. And that one, most of the people were pretty nice during that time. Although there was one guy that kept asking all kinds of sexual questions. Yeah, the dog's asleep. She's a sleepy dog. At the moment, sometimes she can be a little crazy. I'm curious, maybe somebody can answer this question. Can you guys see the comments? Because I don't know if you can see the questions that are coming through. Someone asked what my job is, and right now I'm looking to do video editing and graphic design. I've been doing that freelance. Right now I'm between assignments. So thank you for the comment about the glasses. They're like, I think I bought them for $1 at the dollar store. So I have to wear them if I'm going to read this. So a librarian at the school has the same ones. Yeah, well, I just figured I'd get something kind of funny looking and shiny, bright. A friend of mine saw them, and she saw kind of the flowery pattern, and she's like, "What are you doing with those?" It's like, I'm secure in my masculinity. So I'm heterosexual, for those who wanted to know, and I am single. The person who said I was sexy. Okay, thank you. I didn't see your first comment. I mean, I'm getting a lot of comments going through here real quick, so it's kind of hard to keep track of them. Because I'm answering the question. Heterosexual, that means I like to have sex with heteros. I'm also sapiosexual, which means I like to have sex with smart people. And the dog is sexy, but I'm not canine sexual. She's a cute dog, but she's not that cute. She's my little bitch. You can't tell what my gender is. I mean, how many women do you know that have this? I'll just put that up. Can you put me up like that dog? Probably not. Not unless you eat dog food. Listen, sir, truth, you want to be blah, blah. That dissolved before I got to read it. Okay, yeah, sure, your teacher has that. Nothing. Oh. There's somebody there who's convinced that I'm screwing the dog. Now, that wouldn't make any sense because she's basically just a puppy. And, of course, that would be kind of like pedophilia, bestiality. So no to both. Yeah, and let's see, I'm adorable. You're telling me wait till she's... Nope. I'm not into either pedophilia or bestiality or a combination thereof. Thanks, Bay. Okay, hi, Bay. You never get laid, lose the facial hair, and cut your hair. Okay, fine. How about love? Do you love? Yeah, I would like to have some love. It's kind of one thing lacking in my life other than the dog and the cats. Speaking of which, I was, until recently, I was taking care of my father. I was my father's caretaker. In 2000, my father went into a coma, and he wasn't expected to survive, but I wouldn't let the doctors terminate life support until they could prove to me he wasn't going to make it. And well, to make a long story short, he, in spite of them all saying he wasn't going to make it, he made it. And he mentally recovered. Well, physically he wasn't quite the same, so I became his caretaker for the next 15 years, and he died last May. And I've been alone since then, other than the dog. Well, the dog is a recent addition to the home. My 2 cats, who normally would be right here too, but they're gone. Yeah, I've been single for a while. So, yes. Let's see what else people are asking right now. Answer that question. Well, I haven't been reading the questions for a while, so I don't know what question. Can I pet you while I pet your dog? Well, since your picture seems to be male, no. I'm not homosexual either. Not that I have anything against homosexuals, I just prefer women. Let's see. His picture is fake too. Whose picture? Oh. Baby, you're sexy, let's date. Well, perhaps. Professor, I have a question. Okay, ask the question. No, saying I don't want to date you is not the same thing as saying I hate you. So, how old do you think I am? I'm just going to ask that question. Leave that as a mystery for you can just keep an idea. I seem a little uptight. Maybe a little. It's like, I don't know what uptight means by that definition. No, we're not dating now because I've never met you in person. I don't know what your picture looks like. I'm your therapist. Vent to me. Why do you play Pokemon? Who cares? Do you know I haven't played Pokemon Go? I've been too busy with other things in my life lately to get involved in that. I see the Pokemon people all over the place. So this is interesting. So it's not quite going the way I expected this particular live stream to go. I guess it was all the questions. Vent to me, Daddy. Well, I wonder if my ex is watching this. I mean, possibly. I was engaged for a while, and basically she left me for another guy. I think it was, well, no, you're not my ex. So, do I meet... well, this is only my 3rd one, so I haven't met any girls on Periscope. If you're female and you find me interesting, then, tweet at me at JTG. So, and, you need to be living somewhere in California, within 100 miles or so of me. Or you're going to have to come near me. I live in the Monterey Bay area. I'm not going to give you my address. I'm not going to talk much about my ex, the person who's asking about that. Yeah. So, Canada. Somebody's in Canada there. No, you can't have my banking info. So, year? What does year mean? Y-E-E-E-E-E-E-R. Talk about yoga. Yoga. I'm not going to talk about my ex. So, so that's about all. Wish there was a way for me to be able to ban certain users, but I guess there's not. What about your Y or Z? I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's just a silly thing or it's an actual code. So I'll be live for about another 6 or 5.5 minutes. I'm going to stop at 7:30. Too bad you can't block. Yeah, okay. That's unfortunate. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe there is a way to block and I just don't know what it is yet. It's horrible. Nope. So, they need a block button. There's not. Yep. So, Yoga Flame. Ha ha ha. I am a polymath, if you know what that means. Actually, I'll tell you what a polymath is. A polymath is somebody who knows a lot about a lot of things. I'm kind of a super nerd. I am a nerd when it comes to technology. I'm a nerd when it comes to biology, nature. I'm a wonk, which is a phrase for a political nerd. I can tell you everything, well, not everything, but a lot of things going on. I have 10 college degrees, 1 bachelor's degree, and 9 associate's degrees. And I'm within a couple classes of getting 2 more degrees. I don't know if I'll do that. Let's see. No, I'm not the wrestler JTG. Sorry. If you came tuning in for him, I've been JTG for far longer than he's been around. I first started using JTG back in the 90s. It started because a bunch of people I knew in college were going by their first 2 initials, HB, CE, JD, as well as a bunch of my relatives. And I thought I'd be different by using all 3 initials, so I became JTG. And I've been signing myself JTG on the internet for a long, long time. And there are a lot of JTGs on the internet, and none of them are me, but me. So, one thing I find is after a while, with these comments, how do I get in the ring with JTG? I have no idea. I'd say you have to contact him. If you want to get into the ring with this JTG, that's a different story. I'm not a wrestler. So, let's see here. We got about another 3 minutes in the show. Like I said, I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel, Random Reverberations from JTG. Go ahead and subscribe to that channel. If you've liked what you've watched or found it interesting at all, you can support me on Patreon. So go at patreon.com/JTG, easy to remember, and come in at like $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever a month to help keep me doing these kind of videos. And I promise I feel like I'm doing better on this one than I did yesterday. Yesterday I was, or my last one, not yesterday, the last one was several days ago. I was less organized, less rambling, and not that I'm totally but I'm going to start doing these specifically. Be a little more organized about how I do it. Maybe even have like a semi-bullet point script to do these. And I'm also going to do these live shows on different platforms. I'll probably do one of these on YouTube here pretty soon. And I'm looking for other ones. Let's see. I hate your nickname. Or what? That's your nickname? What's my nickname? That's the thing, is that because without my glasses I can see the things coming through here. Daddy Longlegs. No, that's not my nickname, because I got long legs. I just had a part of one of my feet cut off, but that's a different story for another time. Spent a couple weeks in the hospital and I'm still limping around. So, would you get in the ring with a wrestler, JTG? Not unless it was worth my while. Give me a lot of money, I'll get in the ring with him, or, and as long as, there was an agreement not to seriously injure me. So, got another minute here. It's 7:29 here Pacific time, and I'm going to call it a wrap here in about 45 seconds. So let me look. Any last questions? Again, go subscribe on... search on RRfJTG, that's Random Reverberations from JTG. Pretty much anything you find on the web with those initials or the hashtag RRfJTG is going to be me. I chose it because nobody else is using that. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join me on Twitter at just JTG. I was a very early adopter. Not many people have 3-letter acronyms, and like about once a month somebody tries to hack in and try to steal my my Twitter. So let's see. Any last questions here? Okay, it's the time. Am I going on again tonight? Probably not tonight, because I'm going to go eat dinner and go to bed, and I've got a lot to do tomorrow. And I got a lot to do tonight. I've got some video editing to do. So, thanks for tuning in, and tweet at me at JTG, and let me know what kind of things you'd want me to cover in the future, and when would be a good time, and whether or not this is the best platform. So, thanks. And this is my doggy, 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 dog. Have a nice night. Be good. That's all.